Hi guys, welcome to Classic Sitcoms, Facts, and Trivia. Appreciate you being here. Before we get started, Happy New Year! I hope all of your New Year's are awesome. Hope they're great, the best ever. Today's video is on Dick Van Dyke and some things you might not know about him. I didn't know hardly any of these, so let's take a look. We'll start with number one. That's a nice place to start. His parents lied to him about his birthday. Just before what Van Dyke thought was his 18th birthday, he became concerned about the draft and the possibility of being forced into the infantry. To control his own fate, he debated joining the Air Force while he was still 17 and ran the idea past his mom. Instead of advice, he received a bombshell. "I have something to tell you," Van Dyke recalls his mother saying in his memoir, "You're already 18. Oddly enough, her explanation for lying was yet another lie. She told him that he was premature and that he had changed his birth date to match the original due date. Rightfully suspicious, he went to who he calls the most straightforward person in his family, his grandmother. She looked like she wanted to say bullshit," he writes in his memoir. She asked who had sold me that bill of goods. "You were conceived out of wedlock." His mother would later confirm the story, and his birthday would be removed from March back to December. Sorry about the language. Okay, he wrote a book on aging. And the follow-up to his New York Times, hold on, here we go. My Lucky Life in and Out of Show Business, Van Dyke ventured into the self-help genre with Keep Moving and other tips and truths about aging. Central to the book is the idea of rejecting the limitations placed on aging. "If I'm out shopping and hear music playing in a store, I start to dance," he says. "If I want to sing, I sing. I read books and get excited about new ideas and enjoy myself. I don't think about the way I'm supposed to act in my age or at any age." Okay, he's even fantastic on kids' shows. After winning countless primetime Emmys, Van Dyke moved on to conquer the earlier television time slot, earning a Daytime Emmy Award in 1986 for Outstanding Performer in Children's Programming after an appearance on CBS Library, an anthology series that presented animated or live-action versions of children's books. He received his high school diploma very late in life. He finally received his high school diploma 60 years after he left to join the Air Force. Ahead of the 2004 ceremony, Van Dyke performed in his alma mater's student production of Bye Bye Birdie. His first wedding was broadcast over the radio. Van Dyke was wed to his first wife, Margie Willett, live on a radio program called Bride and Groom. Show offered romantic hopefuls a free ceremony and various prizes in exchange for a live broadcast and post-service interviews. "We were too broke to get married, but a radio producer offered to pick up the tab and send us on our honeymoon if we got hitched on his show," Van Dyke told The Guardian. So in 1948, we exchanged vows in front of a minister and 2 radio microphones while 15 million people listened. His wife is half his age. Van Dyke's third wife, Arlene Silver, is 46 years his junior. The two met in a green room of the Screen Actors Guild Awards dinner in 2006, where Silver was working as a makeup artist. Although Van Dyke's name carried clout in the world of show business, he couldn't exactly rely on his star power in his first meeting with Sterling. "I knew who he was, but I had no idea why I knew who he was." Sterling admitted to the Huffington Post, "I never saw Mary Poppins, I never saw Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and I never saw the Dick Van Dyke Show." Despite the generational gap, Van Dyke insists they're a match. "Don't feel the age gap. I'm emotionally immature, and Arlene is very wise for her age, so we meet in the middle. I can relate to that, as my wife is 20 years younger than I." He went to great lengths to join the military. He stood 6 feet tall before his 12th birthday, but that height wasn't always a blessing. On his first few attempts at enlistment at the Air Force, Van Dyke was told he was too skinny and was instructed to gulp down an abundance of milkshakes. When they finally let him enlist in 1942, he excelled, landing a position in the Special Service Units, where he performed in shows and hosted on radio. And there you go. What's really funny about this is, well, if I put Dick Van Dyke in the title of this video, YouTube will have issues with it. They have when I did others, just because of that name. So if there's an issue about it tomorrow, don't worry, it'll be there. It will show up sooner or later. That's all I got for you. I really do hope you have a great New Year's Day, New Year's year. I love you guys, and I appreciate all you've done for me this year, and I hope I've done a little bit for you as well. Have a great day. God bless you. Happy New Year, and I'll be praying for you.